Slovakia 2-1-1, taking on 4-0 Canada here. In the third game of the day in Stockholm on this Saturday at the World Hockey Championship. And the officials for this game are referees Mikko Kokokori from Finland, Sean McFarland of the United States, Ludwig Lundgren of Sweden, and Dominic Schlegel of Switzerland will work the lines. Sidney Crosby exchanging traditional gifts with Slovak captain Mata Suko. 60-year-old Dean Evison behind the Canadian bench has made a lot of lineup changes, a lot of line changes and adjustments, and more today as Adam Fantilli is bumped down to the 13th forward spot for Team Canada. And behind the bench for Slovakia is 47-year-old Vladimir Orsog, who takes over from Craig Ramsey, who's been battling some health issues. It was Ramsey who guided Slovakia to a bronze medal at the 22 Olympics. And the Slovaks have 7 members of that team here in Stockholm. Slovakia 1 point ahead of Latvia for 4th place in Group A. And those two teams play tomorrow. Jordan Bennington, the 31-year-old from Richmond Hill, Ontario, gets a start for Canada. It's his second. He shut out France on 15 shots in his opener. Patrick Rebar has not played since the opener for the Slovaks. He's beaten 5 times on 20 shots in their tournament opening loss to Sweden. Nathan McKinnon with Bo Horvat and Tyson Forster on right wing. Forster back in the Canadian lineup. And away we go, Canada. 14-2-2 all time on their quarterfinal matchup last year, 6-3. And since then, Canada's won, including that one, 6 straight. The last loss to the Slovaks in 2012. That was also a quarterfinal matchup. Lead pass for Samuel Takech is broken up. And Bo Horvat plays it back out. Lots of Slovak fans here this weekend. As Martin German plays it back down to the Canadian zone. Mackenzie Weegar banks it back around for Macklin Celebrini. And now poke back, but the Slovaks are offside.
Slovakia knows they have a big challenge in front of them, given how well Canada has played. Legenda will try to lead the charge physically against Canada. He does offer that size that Slovakia might need on the forecheck.
The Slovaks don't have any full-time NHL players on their roster this year. They do have 7 American League players. And players like Legenda, who have played a handful of games in the NHL. A bad bounce in front. Almost touched there by Bennington, who took it away from Robert Lantoshi. Wow, bad bounce in the corner. Almost cost Canada an early goal there.
The smoke machine operator thought the goal was in. Fired off the pyrotechnics after it was saved.
Canada has allowed opening goals to Latvia and Austria so far. Almost a catastrophic bad bounce there in the early going.
Prominent stanchions on both ends in the glass. The puck rarely rolls around true. Bennington, who loves to play the puck, will foul that away quickly.
Brandon Montour with a sharp angle shot. Montour with a point in every game for Canada. One of 4 Canadian players who's done that. Will Cooley plays it back around for Ryan O'Reilly. Cooley has goals in back-to-back games for Canada. Mike Matheson back around to O'Reilly. Loose behind the Slovak goal. Plays it back for Kent Johnson. That's knocked away. Bounces back to Cooley with a shot. Hit a skate in front. Rebound put wide by Johnson. Matheson. Back for Montour.
No skate play for German. Can't get off the ice.
And now O'Reilly with a quick chance. And finally German gets off.
A lot going on the first 2 minutes.
Bennington carefully out to play at that time as Matheson gathers it back up. Back around to Travis Sanheim, a long-time Philadelphia Flyer, out to center ice to Philip Deneau. Moved in by Braden Shan. Andre Golian plays that back around. Rarechak had that taken away, sends it back down. And this will be icing against the Slovaks after a very close call in the Canadian crease.
Puck is dumped in, pops out in front. It's a wide open net for Lantoshi, and just a stick getting across first for Jordan Bennington. Oh my goodness, Lantoshi would have loved to elevate it somehow. He thinks he's got an empty net, and Bennington takes it away.
in the opening seconds of the first period. And Bo Horvat in for the faceoff for Canada. He's 36-8 on draws.
If you like 82%.
And off the draw, there's Nathan McKinnon with a quick shot. Golian's back with it. Tired Slovaks on the ice after the icing penalty. And now McKinnon races back to pick it up. Pivots away from Milos Roman. McKinnon back across to Sanheim, who leads the rush. Back to Horvat, trying to drop that back in the high slot. Suko, but buried there by McKinnon, and it's loose at center ice. Sanheim back for Spurgeon. And here is Jared Spurgeon. First international tournament for Team Canada for Jared Spurgeon. The pass across for Forster. Back at center ice. Weegar goes after it. Chaykovich gets a stick on him. Sidney Crosby has it back, held at the line by Takac, but Crosby worked that free. And Crosby sends that rink wide looking for Konechny. Konechny drops it back for Noah Dobson in the high slot. Weegar took a chop at that. Bounces back down to Macklin Celebrini. Celebrini winds in. Keeps it alive for Crosby. And now Sukel back with it. Across for Takac. So the early chance for Lantoshi. Main scoreless here in the opening period. Lead pass for Celebrini winding in. Macklin Celebrini. There's Bano, a hard bump there. Brought up by Regenda. Konechny. Lead pass for Lantoshi. Laid back around, here's Regenda on it. Signed as an undrafted free agent by Anaheim. Spent time with their San Diego American League team, now traded to San Jose, where he's playing for the Barracuda in the AHL. You're going to play in the AHL, might as well be in California. As that shooting goes off a stick, up and out of play.
Macklin Celebrini has played a couple games on Sidney Crosby's wing. Last game he was center by himself. But for a young player, he is still very comfortable playing physically. Battling on loose pucks, and Mackenzie Weegar shows how you do it on Regenda. Canada wants to be physical, but wants to do it clean. The penalties to a minimum.
Canadian families arrived yesterday. First wave of them. Off the face-off, onto her shot that deflects wide. Ryan O'Reilly works that free. O'Reilly gets away from Canasco, plays it back to Matheson, a shot that bounces right to Johnson. Kent Johnson lines that back in deep for O'Reilly. Works the free for Fantilli, and now Johnson back with it. Back at the line, Montour's shot. And Rebar makes the save on that. Here's Johnson back with it. Loose at center ice, and Beno going to stick on that. It bounces into the Canadian bench.
Slovakia wants to get going into the game. Dean Evason acknowledging the challenges of 13 forwards. Not something he faces with. In fact, he's got one of his star young players, Adam Fantilli in Columbus, as the 13th forward, and also limited ice time. Guys are playing less than they are used to with their club teams, and it's tricky to keep everyone happy and engaged in the game when they're not playing the same kind of role they're used to.
Riker Evans plays it back out. He also made the point about, when you have the 20-man roster, it makes it even more difficult to integrate everyone. 13 forward, 7D is not a familiar situation for Canadian players. A lot of European teams might go 12 and 8.
Then just two defensemen hardly play.
Right, and the other problem is if something happens to a forward, you're one light. Being hit by Hayton as he goal over Sikora. Now Spurgeon a shot that was blocked by a diving goalie. And Dalibor Dvorsky, the St. Louis first-round pick, moves back out with Sikora. Hayton back on it, banks it back around. Chaykovich lays that back. Long point shot by Beno. It was deflected. And Binnington made a good stop on the shot by Michal Beno.
Binnington's made two saves. One a crazy behind the net paddle save, and this one a really nice stop on a Sikora tip. Puck's wristed on in, Sikora slides out, pulls it back against the grain, and Jordan Binnington had to be sharp to corral it. Slovakia will look to shoot any chance they can, looking for an opportunity just like that one.
Off the face-off win by Sukel. Čekovic a long shot off the other side. Woodruck with a shot off the side of the goal.
The fall through get Mackenzie Weegar up higher, was at the puck as the net was dislodged. Jordan Binnington came flying across to seal the post. Well, this is what you get with slot mentality. Shot, rebound. Here comes Binnington post to post. Mackenzie Weegar dives in front. Oh, he gets it on his hand, which would sting. A lot of pads over there on the outside of your pinky finger.
McKinnon for the face-off against Sukel.
So McKinnon will take it, even though Horvat's on the ice because it's on the right side of the ice. His strong side backhand pull.
Wins it cleanly back. Banked out by Weegar. Benno being forced there by Forster. Picked up by McKinnon. And Nathan McKinnon back with it. Bumped up by Benno. Čekovic. That's center ice, knocked down by Weegar. Moves out ahead to McKinnon. And Nathan McKinnon winds in. Centers it. Forster just hammered that wide. Now Horvat back with it. Oh, Horvat pivots back. Benno was knocked down by McKinnon. There's a quick look back at the official. Forster swings it back across. Stops a long shot looking for the stick of Weegar. That went wide. Forster back with it. Around to McKinnon. Shakes off Benno. Works it back in the slot. That was blocked, and now Weegar walks right in. And the rebound, Horvat couldn't cash. What a move by Weegar. And now a 2-on-1 for the Slovaks. Čekovic, along with Takats, a centering pass. Takats gets a stick on it, and Binnington makes a good save. A very brisk opening period as Kristoff chips out for Lantoshi. And Crosby banks it back around, picked up by Celebrini. Crosby up ahead to Konechny. And now Crosby able to hold the line and bank that back in. Shots with 4-2 Canada. Big hit by Celebrini, trying to set it up for Konechny, loose at the side of the goal. And Lantoshi has it back. Picked up by Kristoff. He finds Kanasko. Long shot floats wide as Konechny waits for it. And swings that back to Matheson. In comes Mike Matheson. The linesman stepped on something and fell. And it's still out there. Picked up by Johnson around to Matheson, who fires it back down, and Roman stepped into Matheson. Cooley around to Johnson. And Johnson trying to flip that back through Chetterley. And Milos Roman goes rink wide for Rayovac. Chuck missed on that. And now Chetterley with it. As a look, shoots that towards the goal, knocked down by Matheson. And he gave Samuel Honzek a whack. Brandon Montour swings that back to Matheson. Also at this hour, Denmark taking on Norway. Those two longtime rivals in a game that Norway needs to have. Deneau back around for Schenn. And David Mudrak. Gonna lift that back and hit Deneau. And Sanheim finds Schenn along with Hayton. Centering pass for Barrett Hayton. Bounces in the high slot, and Sikora plays it back out. Sikora spent his second year with the Rangers Hartford AHL team. As Deneau moves it ahead. His shot deflected away by Kanasko. Long time between whistles here in the opening period. Deneau after it. Patrick Koch back with it for Slovakia. He was not afraid to throw his body around. And now moves the puck out. Hands it back down the Canadian zone. Binnington out to play it. Chips it back around for Dobson. Noah Dobson up the ladder for Riker Evans, jumping in. Evans across to Horvat. Horvat trying to drop that back for Forster. And now Horvat picks it up behind the goal, centers for McKinnon. And McKinnon wheels back. Centers it back across. Horvat shoots, scores! Cole Horvat strikes again his 5th of the tournament. And Canada's got a 1-0 lead.
I'll take a close look at the offside on the entry. It was really tight. Cole Horvat sits over there on the offside one-timer spot. The pass even slowed down with a touch in front to make it even easier. Here's the entry. Is McKinnon on? He's got to drag it. I don't know if he's going to be. He drags it. I don't think so. And if there's any information. See, in NHL arenas, they don't show the replays on the big board until the team decides what to do.
Slovakia challenges offside.
They just showed the replay, and you saw Vladimir Orzog's reaction to it. You're basically doing the offside challenge for the bench by showing it that quickly. This will not count. They'll re-rack the clock, and the face-off will go outside. McKinnon was sort of streaking in, looking to potentially get the rush himself. He didn't get a pass to him, so he tries to drag it. But Riker Evans doesn't get it across. There's no doubt that puck's off his stick, but even if it's in the air, that is offside. This one will not count.
After review, it's determined that the play was offside. Therefore, we are to 10:13 on the clock.
So they'll reset the clock and remain scoreless.
And you can see what McKinnon is thinking, because he's trying to stay in front of his check. That's why he didn't slow down or stop. Eventually the goal ended up here as it got queued up for Cole Horvat, who makes no mistake, but 14 seconds back on the clock they're waiting for. There we go. And play will go on scoreless.
Horvat back to 4 goals. And Toshi moves that ahead, knocked down by Crosby. And Kristoff plays it back around. Slovaks lost a shootout to Austria on Monday. Kristoff was the last shooter for the Slovaks. In comes Konechny, shoots and deflected on goal, and Rebar knocked that away. And Kristoff was tripped on that attempt, which was to tie it. The officials missed it as Matheson stepped into Regenda.
Now, there's no guarantee he scores on the next attempt, but he should have been given another shot.
In comes Crosby, back across to Matheson, knocked that down in front. And Hormiak moves it ahead to Sikora. Sikora drops it back. Great chance for Polk on the play. And now McKinnon chips it out for Konechny. Canada changing as Konechny winds in. Shoots. He fired that wide.
Slovakia will be pleased with the quality of chances they've generated. Off the rush, Canada get a little loose up ice.
Canada's outscored the opposition 21-2 so far. Both goals against in the first period. Forster back to McKinnon with a shot. Rebar save, and the rebound put wide by Sanheim. Spurgeon back on it. Jared Spurgeon on to Nathan McKinnon.
Net off on a Rebar move. So the rule is whistle, but you can't change the defenders. To discourage the delay of game tactics by the goalie accidentally on purpose knocking the net off of its moorings. So no television timeouts, no changes, just a whistle and an offensive zone face-off for Canada.
McKinnon on this side of the ice to take the draw.
Got to pull up for a shot for Cole Horvat.
Draw. Sanheim a shot that goes off the stick of Dvorsky. And a late whistle there as the puck went over the glass. 8:40 to go in the opening period. No score between Canada and Slovakia here in Stockholm.
This just in. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
That's correct. It's now even easier to create your own unique bet. You could choose any market, like hits, run line, totals, home runs. With our same game parlay, the choice is truly yours.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
We Canadians rarely lose our cool, especially with a $3 Harvey's milkshake. Thick, creamy, hand-spun Canadian dairy. Harvey's milkshakes and frozen drinks, only $3 all summer long. It's a beautiful day.
It is not necessary to dial a 1.
Hockey-loving country, Slovakia, bronze medalist at the Olympics in 2022. They have the unfortunate distinction, and have had for several years, of being the 9th-ranked team in the IIHF rankings. Normally, the top 9 teams in the rankings had automatic berths in the Olympics. But because host teams were allowed in 2018, South Korea, 2022, China, and 2026, Italy, they've had to play Olympic qualifying the last 3 cycles. They've won all 3 tournaments, but there have been some close calls.
As long as they get there in the end.
Right.
And they deserve to be.
Jankovic moves in. It's not automatic that the host country's in. As McKinnon winds his way, and McKinnon with a step moves it and shoots. It goes off a skate wide. China was ranked 32nd in the world the year before the Olympic tournament. But it was felt they put enough into the program to justify them being in.
And they were fine. They were not embarrassed. They lost, but they were not embarrassed.
Riley tries to knock that down. Now Sikora gets free. In comes Adam Sikora with Dobson coming back. And Sikora looking back at the official. There's no penalty.
Mackenzie Weegar just hurt his shoulder. Pretty good.
He's gone back to the Canadian bench.
He stepped up on Sikora and basically had to stop playing. Left shoulder getting worked on the bench.
Talking to Kevin Elliott, the Canadian athletic therapist. Samuel Canasco lifts it high in the air. A couple of years ago, Weegar was the top defenseman of the tournament when Canada won gold. Chipped ahead by Matheson. And back down to the Slovak zone. And a big hit behind the play. Hayton taken in by Canasco. That's going to be a penalty to Slovakia. Boarding will be the call. And Canada gets a power play with 6:45 to go in the first.
We know that the remarkable happens when East meets West. It comes alive in our shared love of sport, in our dedication to craftsmanship, our desire to create. And right here, Sapporo, where Japanese artistry meets Western tradition, you too can discover the remarkable where East meets West.
Domino's new Parmesan stuffed crust pizza tastes like never before. Because Domino's has never had stuffed crust before. Seriously. But we do now, and it's stuffed with melty cheese and topped with garlic seasoning and Parmesan. Try it for the first time tonight. From Domino's.
Sponge towels. Nothing absorbs like it.
The best power play in the tournament by goals and percentage will go to work as Samuel Canasco heads the box for a boarding penalty on Barrett Hayton. And every team that has played against Canada knows that you can't take penalties Been a physical game, but a little too much in the numbers. So Bo Horvat will take the face-off. Bo Horvat has been the preferred shooter for Canada's power play. And here's Mackenzie Weegar. He stepped into Sikora, and right away you could tell he was not feeling good. Sikora goes in the break. Great job by Noah Dobson to track him down. No penalty there. Good call, non-call by the officials. Mackenzie Weegar went to the bench. They were working on his left shoulder area, and then walked to the dressing room for further evaluation. 7 defensemen for Canada, so they can just play their usual 6 now.
Canada has 2 roster spots open.
If someone were to get hurt, they would look to fill the defensive spot.
Horvat kicks at it, pulled free by Konechny. Back to Montour. Horvat leads the way with 3 power play goals for Canada. As Crosby sends a Konechny with a quick chance in tight. Rebar the stop on that. Montour back around for McKinnon. McKinnon trying to center it, bobbled it for a moment, and now has it back. To the point to Montour, to Crosby, sweeps it back in front, trying to find Konechny. There's Horvat back across. Crosby sends it back in front. The loose puck knocked away by Cook.
As good as this first power play unit is, they're having a hard time hitting that back door, whether it's Crosby or Konechny. They just haven't yet clicked.
McKinnon winds in. The puck kind of stuck to him for a moment.
Stuck to his blade like a magician.
Milos Roman sends it back down the ice. Here is Montour. Up for McKinnon. And McKinnon works it across to Horvat. Swings that back to Montour, but he can't hold the line. Konechny. The last game of the day, a long runway for the Slovak fans here today. As Konechny plays it across. McKinnon. That pass goes off a skate. Again, Montour can't hold it. Crosby moves in. Pulls that back to McKinnon for Crosby. Back in front to Konechny. Swings it back across. They score! Montour! And they throw it around, and Montour scores his 2nd of this World Championship.
The first unit stays out a long time, and a very disjointed first 90 seconds. Nothing going on, passes and skates, and then this play on the entry. Crosby to McKinnon, back to Crosby into the middle, and how about that feed from Travis Konechny? He's in a shooting position. He goes backhand sauce, and Brandon Montour 5-hole on German, and pass Rebar to open the score, and Brandon Montour now the highest scoring defenseman in the tournament.
There's a point in every game for Canada, so is Konechny now with the assist on that goal. You talked about at the top of the show the element that Konechny brings.
Not just because his name's Konechny, but he's a connector.
Yeah. Versatility and excellence. And Johnson centers it. O'Reilly back on it. Okay, this is their 7th power play goal in 16 attempts. O'Reilly with it. Trying to find Will Cooley, brought in by Sanheim.
Oh, it's a
Sanheim skating right through Rosen Beach.
It's a big collision.
Rosen Beach had him lined up, but wound up being the nail, not the hammer.
That hurt both of them, I think.
Slovaks will play Latvia tomorrow. Slovaks lost a narrow one to Finland earlier today. That'll be a tough battle tomorrow.
It might be for 4th place.
Riker Evans winds in, drops it back to Forster. Shoots, scores! Tyson Forster strikes with his first of the tournament, and it's 2-0.
If you didn't know Tyson Forster and his ability to shoot the puck, now you're getting to see it. 25 goals for Philadelphia this year, and he has the unique ability to shoot it past goalies from 30, 35 feet. Riker Evans, skate, ladder play, drives the defense back, and you give Forster inside top of the circle, that's trouble against any goaltender. And he gets inside the top of the circle, finds his spot, and just beats Rebar clean far side. wicked wrister, which he has.
So goals a minute and 4 seconds apart. State Canada to a 2-0 lead. As Evans goes back for it, banks that back to Dobson. Looks ahead to Forrester, who's knocked down at center ice by a Coke. Here is Evans. Riker Evans bounce that back ahead. German knocks that down. Here is Evans. Up end to Shen. Bouncing puck in the corner. Chakovic goes after it. 3.5 to go here in the opening period. Bounce back at center ice. Goalie uncenters it, rolls down to Binnington, who shortens up and plays out ahead to Deneau. Up to center ice for Shen. Braden Shen for Barrett Hayton. Now Chennerley has it back for Slovakia. To Chakovic at center ice. Rink wide pass. Rayerchuk a long shot. Binnington makes the glove save and hangs on. Quick goals by Brandon Montour and Tyson Forrester take Canada to a 2-0 lead.
Unleash your inner lion at Leo Vegas.
Hockey is back. The fans are full of hope. The skates sharpened, the blue line bolstered, and the half-empty glass is once again full. Join us for your Roadhouse favorites and cheer them on at Kelsey's, the original Roadhouse.
I can see clearly now.
I'm here to save you.
I want to give you the chance you need. A chance to give.
I want to remind you that your life means a lot.
And you can share that life
With those who really need it.
Here we go. One more. One more. Go, go, go.
I'm here to save you. Like you're here to save me.
Bright, bright, sunshine day.
Got it out to a 2-0 lead. Good news for Canada. Looks like Mackenzie Weegar back on the bench at least. Sitting aside Marc-Andre Fleury at the end. Haven't seen him back on the ice, but the fact that he's back on the bench is, I suppose, a little positive.
Kristoff brings that face-off back to Penasco. And now Matheson back with it. Up ahead to Forrester. Celebrini and Evans draw the assists on the goal by Tyson Forrester. Macklin Celebrini back after the center ice. The Rookie of the Year finalist for Crosby. And now Matheson up for Celebrini. Crosby pokes it ahead. That play called offside at the Slovak line.
It was a slow start for Canada. They had a goal called back because of an offside, but eventually the power play strikes off an entry play. As Brandon Montour gets the goal, then it's Riker Evans to Tyson Forrester, rips it by Rebar, and it's 2-0 Canada. A little bit more comfortable for the Canadian fans.
McKinnon out there for the faceoff. At one point, McKinnon, Celebrini, and Crosby were on the same line. So an all first overall line. Marc-Andre Fleury, the other first overall pick, one of 4 on the Canadian roster.
So McKinnon has twice tried to pull it back to Horvat. It did not work. Say, Bo, get in there.
You try it. Okay.
He won it. Scrambled to Slovakia.
Rosendietz had to go off his skate, bounces right back in front for Forster. Patrick Rayerchuk. Bounces that hit to Chennerley. Now Forster back with it. Looks ahead to McKinnon. In comes Nathan McKinnon. Walks in and shoots. Rebar save. Bouncing puck in front. Sanheim couldn't quite reach it. As Patrick Rebar has it.
And Mackenzie Weegar back on the ice.
Wow.
Starting that transition play, so very good news. McKinnon likes this one. He's done it before. sells the shot and then almost goes a bit of a change-up once the goaltender goes down. He either slides 5-hole, or if the goalie protects 5-hole, he goes above the pad, but it's saved by Rebar with the blocker. Somehow the most dangerous player on the ice finds himself in alone quite often.
Funny how that goes. Ryan O'Reilly centers it, bouncing puck loose in front for the moment. And the Canadian players and coaching staff, one of the hottest topics of conversation is Nathan McKinnon's intensity.
Got to get used to it. It's not for everybody.
Kent Johnson pivots back along the boards, has a look. Swings it back for O'Reilly with a quick shot. Rebar the save on that. Takat. Out of center ice. Lines that back out as Evans. Picked up by Takat. That long shot was blocked. O'Reilly works it free ahead to Johnson. And Johnson slides that ahead as Canada makes a change. Canada back in action on Monday against Finland and Tuesday against Sweden. Swedes with us earlier today against France. Have 2 days off for that game against Canada. Final minute now, the opening period. Honzek has it taken away, brought in by Deneau. Rink wide to Shin, in shoots, and Rebar makes the stop on that.
Saved by Rebar on Braden Shen, who can also score on a wrister from distance. And one of the challenges for Slovakia in this game is to try to hold the blue line a little bit better. You're seeing a lot of times Canada gets the entry, then they're moving it laterally because they're able to push Slovakia back off their own blue line. Loading up at the end of the period by Dean Evanson. McKinnon now out here with Crosby and Horvat.
Crosby wins it forward. Centered it, just missed McKinnon with that pass.
That play.
Here they come again, Crosby to McKinnon, back to Crosby, snaps it back in front. Quick shot by Dobson, kicked up by Rebar. McKinnon back with it. Around to Crosby. To Dobson. Walks right in. Dobson had a roll off his stick. Picked back up by Sanheim. Across he goes to Crosby. Threads that pass across to McKinnon. In for Sanheim, walking right in. Sanheim threads that back in front. McKinnon knocked it down, but not out. Now McKinnon has it back, goes rink wide for Lantoshi. As time winds down here in the period. Lantoshi drops it down, picked off by Dobson. Takes a quick look, brings it out, and Canada will go to the dressing room with a 2-0. After one period of play, thanks to the 2 goals from Brandon Montour and Tyson Forster. Our first intermission is coming right up.
What's up? You seem kind of sluggish today.
Things aren't really moving.
You could use some Metamucil.
Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps keep your digestive system moving.
Now you're moving. Looking good.
Feeling good. Metamucil keeps you moving.
The Mix and Match event is on now at Sleep Country. Because everyone should sleep their own way. It's time to get what you need to do just that. For a limited time, get 20% off almost everything. The Mix and Match event is on now, only at Sleep Country.
You shall live with mosquitoes and ticks no more. Contact Mosquito.Buzz and you can spend the rest of your summer outside. Mosquito.Buzz will spray all the areas where mosquitoes and ticks live, rest, and hide. Trees, shrubs, under the deck, behind the shed, anywhere you need protection from harmful mosquitoes and ticks. We come back on a repeated schedule so you're bug-free all season long. Safe, effective, incredible results. Contact us today at Mosquito.Buzz.
Bar none, there's nothing else better than Auto Trader.
Knowing they're Canadian, I think absolutely is a cherry on top.
That definitely changes the game for me.
It's been around for 50 years, and it's still the best place to buy or sell a car. The answer is Auto Trader.
Oh, Canada, it's time to come out and play.
Good morning, Ryan. I have everything for your rider here, including your scrambled eggs.
Oh, gosh. Wow, no one makes my eggs like you, Brendan.
Actually, these are from Tim Hortons. I know how much you like them.
Love them.
So I gave them your extremely specific recipe.
Oh, did you? 2 freshly cracked eggs, expertly scrambled with crispy hash browns, sausage crumble, creamy chipotle sauce, cooked over freshly harvested organic lava.
They skipped the lava part, but yeah.
Wow, doesn't affect the taste at all.
I'm so glad.
From my rider to Tim's menu, try my new scrambled eggs loaded breakfast box.
Fresh Stone Rollies, ready at any moment for real-life moments. Loaded with your favorite flavors, Rollies keep you reaching for more. Share them, dip them, love them. Rollies, life rolled up.
At Genesis, centered around you means reflecting your every need. Like respecting your time by bringing service to your doorstep with complimentary valet pickup and courtesy vehicle service. Because we believe Genesis ownership shouldn't cost any of your time. This is personalized service. This is what sets Genesis apart.
The year's second major is underway as the PGA Championship continues tomorrow from Quail Hollow with the final round. Coverage gets underway at 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific on TSN and TSN+. Well, it's probably the first time all tournament we've said that a Canadian goaltender was as busy as Jordan Binnington was. Despite that, Canada has a 2-0 lead after 20 minutes of play over Slovakia. Mark Rowe alongside Mark Giordano and Dave Reed for the first intermission. And even when we're starting to guess or starting to question the Canadian power play maybe not being as smooth as we've seen it in the past, you blink and they score. And once again, it's a defenseman finding the back of the net.
Yeah, they don't need much, really. Not much going on. They weren't breaking in the puck as cleanly as we've seen them all tournament. They had to regroup 3 or 4 times there, but like you said, all they need is one opportunity, and they quick up it on the line change here. Slovaks are going for a bit of a change, but just a little give and go by Crosby and McKinnon, and then an unreal pass to Konechny, who then makes a backhand sauce to Montour creeping in. It's really, 3 or 4 really good little skill plays in tight there, and they really didn't have much going at all before that point. I don't even know if they had a shot on net. But again, you give them one opportunity, they make 2 or 3 quick plays, a little bit of a bad line change, and it's in your net.
Brandon Montour with that goal, now leading all defensemen in scoring. And Dave, they get a 5-on-5 goal to make it 2-0, but there are some similarities between the 2 goals, and it's coming on the rush.
Yeah, Canada's found a little bit of the rush game, even though Slovakia was pushing hard. But this all starts with Macklin Celebrini breaking up a play at his own blue line, and then Canada just picks up the puck and away you go. This is a beautiful rush by Riker Evans. He comes right through the zone and just a little dish off to the side, and this is a smooth play coming right through, and here's your dish, and toss it over to the side, and then you keep going. The key here is as you're going to the net, you create the screen, and what a shot. And that's a great shot by Tyson Forster, an absolute rip. And Canada's game right now, it seems to be a lot faster than we've seen through this tournament. And a lot of it's through the rush plays. And when you dish it and you drive the net and you get shots and screens, it's a very difficult position to put the defenders in, and Slovakia seem to be on their heels the second half of that period.
All right, Tyson Forster, who won gold with Canada at the World Juniors in 2022, playing at his first World Championship, and he also has his first goal at the Worlds. He's now standing by with Lindsay Hamilton.
Tyson, we saw 2 goals just over a minute apart. What'd you like about the way Canada pressed on the gas pedal to close out that period?
We knew they were a physical team going into it, so we gotta match their physicality, and our speed and skill took over there. So if we keep doing that, we'll be fine.
What's the best part about starting this game on the top line with Bo Horvat and Nathan McKinnon?
I mean, they're both unbelievable players, but everybody here is honored to be here, just wearing the Leaf, and it's pretty cool to play with those guys.
You mentioned wearing the Leaf. This is your first World Championship. Has there been a highlight moment so far for you?
Just being a guys and meeting all the best players in the world. It's pretty cool to be here with them.
Thanks, Tyson.
Thank you.
2 years ago when Canada won gold at the Worlds, Mackenzie Weegar was named the top defenseman, so you can't blame Canada for being a little concerned when they see him walk off the ice. Luckily, he comes back. But what did you see from that play, Gio, and just how important he is for this lineup?
Yeah, I mean, he came across, it sort of looked like a little bit of a shoulder thing on that play, but I love Uyghur's game. He's the only defenseman on Canada who's playing his off wing, and there you see him with a big block early in the game. I just think people don't understand how hard it is sometimes to play your offside as a defenseman, and the reads are a little bit different. You're getting the puck in different positions, but he was making things happen all period. That one, he slides through the crease. I thought he was gonna give it to somebody for a tap in there, but playing your offside as a defenseman, you see the ice, the game's a little bit different. Your body positioning is different, so I think he's done a really nice job, and he's a really underrated player. He has been his whole career. He's a nice defenseman.
Yeah, Mackenzie Uyghur's the type of player that the more you see him and the more he plays, the more you're going to play him. I mean, and you said a little bit underrated. Maybe he's behind Brandon Montour, maybe for offense or for, as maybe a number one offensive guy. But to me, Mackenzie Uyghur is that guy who brings offense, he brings offense out of nothing. And in these short tournaments, that's exactly the type of player you need.
All right, so it's Canada leading 2-0 in Stockholm. Meanwhile, in Herning, Denmark is out in front 2-1 over Norway, Dave, and it's 2 goals coming on the same power play. Patrick Russell with a 5-on-3, Miguel Ågaard, who made it 2-0. Norway has cut that deficit to 1.
Denmark getting their power play going when Denmark's successful, and this is a huge game for the Danes. They want to get to Germany. They've won 2 games in a row. They want to get to Germany in that final game to be playing for the quarterfinal. That could be the 4th position available. And you get a 5-on-3. That's a beautiful no-look pass as it's passed down low by Oscar Molgaard. And then shortly after, it's Michael Ågaard. He scores a beautiful pass from Nicholas Jensen, the old Vancouver first rounder, the old Oshawa general. But the power play is getting it done for Denmark. And as you can see, the home crowd is really getting behind their team. They lost their first 3. They've won 2, and this could set up that final game against Germany, like I said, for a quarterfinal showdown on their final game.
That's now 15 goals in their last 2+ games as Denmark looks for their 3rd win of the tournament. Meanwhile, another beautiful day in Stockholm, and earlier in the day, it was the United States in a roller coaster affair against the Germans. We'll have those highlights when we return.
Hey, good game out there, bud. Wish I could say the same. Guys, did I really play that bad out there?
Bad. It looked like you had 2 left feet out there, bud.
It's because you keep wearing those generic cotton underwear. Guys, I mean, they're a little stretched out and they ride up a bit.
A bit? I'm surprised you didn't get a 2-minute penalty for awkward adjusting.
I told you already, you should be wearing man-made underwear.
No stretching out, riding up, or constant adjusting.
And then the only thing going deep will be your forecheck. You get it? Yeah, sure.
Losing your hair can be frustrating, but now you can do something about it. New Nordic, the #1 supplier of natural health products in Scandinavia, has developed a naturally derived and scientifically proven way to support new hair growth. Hair Grow contains a wide range of hair nutrients like biotin, millet, and zinc, but also uses a patented tocotrienol complex, clinically proven to nourish the hair and help increase hair count in 5 to 8 months. Gain back your confidence. Try Hair Grow today. newnordic.ca.
I was fighting losing battles with opponents disguised as friends, and coming home to a different fight that never ends. I saw no other choice. I had to leave a roof for the rain. But sometimes I wonder if there was a path with more to gain. Maybe the opportunities would have been better, and every day would take me further towards something greater.
To help create new paths for youth experiencing homelessness, the Home Depot Canada Foundation is committing $125 million by 2030.
At Genesis, centered around you means reflecting your every need. Like respecting your time by bringing service to your doorstep with complimentary valet pickup and courtesy vehicle service. Because we believe Genesis ownership shouldn't cost any of your time. This is personalized service. This is what sets Genesis apart.
Game between the U.S. and Germany earlier today. First pair, the Americans are on the power play. It's Tage Thompson to Zach Werenski, back to Thompson. who goes top corner. And coming off a hat trick on Wednesday, Thompson gets his 4th goal of the tournament. The U.S. would score 2 more in the period. They were up 3-0 going into the second period. And it's Germany, as their power play expires. Eric Meek threw not 1 but 2 American defenders, getting his 1st goal of the tournament to cut the lead to 2. A little bit later, it's Dominic Cahoon finding Jonas Mueller, who makes no mistake and scores. Germany's 2nd of the period. Suddenly, it's a 1-goal game, and less than a minute later, Germany's on the power play. Mark Mihalis sends it on net, and Wojciech Sachowiak redirects it off his chest. We're all tied going into the 3rd, where Philip Grubauer lands awkwardly when making a save on Thompson. He would head back to the dressing room shortly after, with Matthias Niederberger taking his place. And moments later, it's the U.S. on the power play. Clayton Keller tees it up for Connor Garland, and it's Garland finding the back of the net. Grubauer would return, but the damage was done. The U.S. would go on to score 2 more, and they improved now to 4-1 with a 6-3 victory. Czechia facing Kazakhstan. Let's pick this one up in the second. Czechia's up by 1. Jakub Fleck, who missed on a breakaway in the first, seizing the opportunity here with the second time around. He goes off the post and in. Czechia has won all 4 previous meetings against Kazakhstan. A little bit later, as a Czechia power play expires, Matej Stransky, already with a goal, unloads the one-timer for his 2nd. It's Stransky's 4th World Championship appearance. He records his 1st career multi-goal game of the tournament. Jump to the 3rd. It's now 5-1 Czechia. Roman Chervenka goes down to one knee and banks it in for his 2nd goal of the game. And just over 2 minutes later, it's the captain again, who taps it in far side for the hat trick. The 39-year-old Chervenka tying Jaromir Jagr for the most goals at the Men's Worlds by Czech player with 32. Czechia moving into 1st place in Group B with the 8-1 victory. Meanwhile, it's Canada up by 2 over Slovakia. You can continue to see that game on TSN 1 and 3. Denmark up on Norway on TSN 2.
There's a certain peace of mind that I have knowing that that is taken care of. If anything were to happen tomorrow, our 2 children will be taken care of. Our dog will be taken care of. I feel really good about the decisions that we made. It was all done in the comfort of our home and our living room couch. My name is Vanessa, and I'm a Willful customer.
Every parent wants peace of mind. Willful makes it easy to create a legal will from the comfort of home.
Don't let dinner be a dud. Go get that fresh. Get to Subway. Smoky, sweet, and made fresh with Canadian beef. Subway's new bourbon barbecue steak and cheddar. Subway makes it fresh like that.
Phoenix.ca makes discussing hair loss treatment plans with a physician convenient and discreet. Kind of like that table over there, the one out of the wind. Oh, they have wild hair.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You will benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Check this out. The phone is the key.
Like you, the redesigned Tucson doesn't stop. You got places to go and stories to tell.
Sleeping like a baby. Thank goodness for baby mode.
And with more than 9 out of 10 Tucsons sold in the last decade still on the road, WA keeps you going.
Quotes about money. Every advisor in every old financial institution has one. Like this gem. A wise person should have money in their head, but not in their heart. What difference does it make if it doesn't end up in your pocket? So, how do you get yours? The answer is 0. Questrade thinks you deserve more zeros. So they changed the game again with 0 commission trades. Now go get yours.
Patrick Rebar allowed 2 goals on 13 shots in opening period. Look, Covington dropped all 5 he faced. Canada strikes on the power play in that first period to continue its role on the man advantage. And looks to run its record to 5-0 here in this World Championship. Brandon Montour, a point in every game. He's D-men in points.
That coveted spot on the first power play unit helps the point totals.
Meanwhile, Denmark winning Norway 2-1.
Blue down!
We talked about Olympic qualification tournaments. The last 3 in that section have come down to Denmark and Norway. Denmark won it. The most recent event last August to advance to the Olympics in Milan. Of course, the Danish players who went will get a chance to play in those Olympics now. That long shot floats wide as Forster gathers it back up. He falls, but finds McKinnon. In comes Nathan McKinnon. The pass was knocked down by Kanasco. Suka. Works it ahead, drops it back to Sikora for Takach's shot, and a penalty coming to Canada. As Forster touches up, it'll be a holding call. It goes to Nathan McKinnon, who's not pleased.
And Dean Evason won't like the forecheck. They got 3 guys.
Number 9, 2 minutes for holding.
3 players in way too deep to start the period. And so it's a 3-on-2 going the other way. And so that's a hold and a slew foot kick. Udrak running interference. And McKinnon kicking his feet out from under him. Probably worth both guys getting a penalty.
Slovaks are 2 for 13 on the power play. Canada's yet to allow a power play goal. 9 for 9 on the kill. There's Rosendich with him. Brings it back across to Kristoff, who has one of the power play goals. Rosendich tees it up. Lantoshi with a shot kicked out by Bennington. Aaron Hayton back on it. Poked free by Spurgeon. And here is Pavel Regenda. Back to Rosendich. Or Regenda. Trying to move that back across, but Hayton got a stick on it. Lantoshi swing it back across, knocked down by Deneau. We talked about it before, but the penalty killing options that Canada has are multiple. Travis Konechny is one of the best penalty killers in the NHL.
One of the keys, though, is to spread it around so the guys who play in the power play don't play in the penalty kill. And the penalty kill guys have something to get ice time and a role to take ownership of.
Weegar comes back out for Canada after that close call in the first period with his shoulder. He left briefly. And Toshi plays it back in for Regenda, who fans in that pass. It goes down to Takach. Takach for Kristoff. Kristoff takes that return pass. 45 seconds to go in the power play. Kristoff. Back for Kanasco. That was blocked. Rebound, and the shot by Lantoshi blocks as well. Sent back in front. Kristoff, great chance, but stopped there by Bennington. Lantoshi winds it back out. Feeds it back across. Takach looking backdoor for Kristoff. Picked off and bumped down the ice by Weegar.
Great looks for Slovakia. A couple of Bennington razor sharp.
Poke with it. Here's Sanheim.
Close to too many men. Linesman had the whistle in his mouth to blow it and elected not to.
2 shots for the Slovaks in that power play. Remains 2-0 Canada. Slovaks were 7th last year after that quarterfinal loss to Canada. They have been 7th, 8th, or 9th in 6 consecutive World Championships. Center pass bounce away from Dvorsky. Now Poke with a long shot goes wide. Off the end boards and picked up by Crosby. Troubles ahead for Celebrini, and Macklin Celebrini gets a step and has a quick look back. And again we get Crosby and McKinnon together. As Celebrini wheels it back to Crosby. At the point, Montour, long shot saved by Rebar. Loose puck, score! Sidney Crosby taps it home, and Canada's taking a 3-0 lead.
All those good chances for Slovakia in the power play, and Canada kills it off and goes right down with the offensive line post-power play. And make no mistake, Celebrini, Crosby, McKinnon, this is what Dean Evason goes to after every power play, and it's the big shot of Montour. And the awareness of Celebrini works to the front of the net, tracks down the loose puck, but then doesn't look to shoot. Feels Crosby going back door, and that is a nice dish. Celebrini loves that. Setting up Sidney Crosby for an empty netter. Canada 3-0.
Well, we joked about early on how Celebrini was deferring to Crosby. Hard not to in that case. Now brought in, and Shen puts it wide. So Celebrini's got 2 assists in the game. Montour with a goal and an assist. Side of the goal. Chetterley couldn't get a shot away as Golian brings it in. Played back, and Honzek stick snapped in half on him. Samuel Honzek, the Calgary Flames draft pick. There's a big hit by Fantilli at center ice. He hammered Goliath. Shen up ahead to Evans. And Riker Evans drops it back to Fantilli, trying to pass it off the pads to Hayton. And Barrett Hayton plays it back around. Off the bench comes Deneau. Philip Deneau, the LA King. Back across to Noah Dobson. Now picked free by Hayton. Walks out and shoots, and Rebar makes the stop on that. Dobson plays it back in for Hayton. Hayton trying to work it back to bouncing, but loose in front, and quickly Rebar gloves that and hangs on.
So it's 2-0 Canada. Slovakia into the power play. They get this chance, and Binnington hasn't hit his pads. I think it was off Kristoff's stick. And then after the power play expires, Canada goes the other way. And just losing body position. First it's Cope, then it's Dvorsky. The 2 of them get beat back to the net by each of their players. And that's how you create offense. You win races, you win battles, you make good plays, and it's all smiles with an empty net.
Celebrini seated next to Crosby in the dressing room.
He is going full sponge mode for 2 weeks. Soak up everything you can.
McKinnon plays it back for Uyghur. That squirted out across the line. Now it's called offside at the Slovak line.
On the bench, it's almost, he wants to be close to him, but he doesn't want to bother him. So he's just hanging around. So he plays the stick, plays the stick. Sid takes his glove off, takes his glove off. Whatever it takes. Sid doesn't outdo it.
Crosby is more than twice his age.
Think about the reaction the players of the team who had already committed to Canada were over here in Europe already. Heard that Crosby and McKinnon were coming.
And the reaction here in Stockholm was
warranted. McKinnon and Crosby have both been fantastic. Not surprisingly at all.
And it's something that has been talked about, Mike, with other countries, in particular the United States. You know, we saw this year Dylan Larkin make the comment about more guys that Team USA need to play in the World Championship to get that experience. And the United States historically has had difficulty getting top-end guys to come regularly.
They have. In the last few years, Patrick Kane has sort of taken a leadership role, calling around, trying to get guys to come. Yep.
There's a lead pass to Suko, and Binnington sweeps that away.
This year, the team is Logan Cooley, Clayton Keller, Tage Thompson, all Olympic candidates showing up for this year's tournament.
In comes Crosby. And a penalty coming.
Be a hold.
It's going to go to German. And so Canada gets another power play. 5:48 into the second period.
He does a good job to start. It's the double wrap and the grab into the hands by his right hand. Look, he's just tugging on his arm. You just can't do it. it's just so obvious. Battling hard, you're trying to do what you can do, but you have to know when you're in a bad spot. You just got to let him go. It's a neutral zone. Just let him stand there if you have to.
Hey, what, German's way ahead of me, though. He's got the European bottle cap figured out way better than I do. Put your finger down and hold it.
We saw Roger Batter earlier struggle the same way we do with the cap of the bottles. We don't want to come off quite so easily.
Sent back in front of Horvat with a quick chance. Rebar makes the stop.
A bypass by Montour all the way to Konechny.
McKinnon. In the corner, feeds it back to Horvat. Fan on that. At the line. And Montour couldn't quite hold it. Now Sikora short-handed along with Chenoweth. Sikora works it and shoots. That floats high and wide. European bottle caps are unfamiliar. When you unscrew them, stay attached.
One way not to lose them, I guess.
McKinnon plays it back across. Good for the environment, apparently. Crosby to Horvat. That's picked off by Cook. Moves it back to center ice, but it's picked up by Montour. 18 goals this year for Brandon Montour, first year with Seattle. And McKinnon moves in a stick. Snapped in half. Sent back down the ice, and Montour ranges back. Johnson was belted down from behind by Takac, and now Montour back with it. And Tilly and Johnson come on with the second unit. And Johnson slides that down to O'Reilly. Back for Johnson. Walks right in. Centering pass was Celebrini, knocked away, and it got by Dobson back at the point.
Johnson's trying to rip that through the box to Fantilli. Got caught up in the skates of Celebrini in the middle.
Now Celebrini moves in, shoots, and Rebar makes a stop on that. Celebrini banks it back for Johnson. Dobson swings it back down, and Rebar grabs the bouncing puck.
Anytime a team gets through a Canadian power play, they've done a good job. Slovakia is 16 seconds away from doing that. And you'd have to think Canada gets one more goal, that's likely going to be it for the game for Slovakia. They know how important this kill is.
So they've got Rebar in there now. Samuel Levi is their #1 goaltender. They're saving him for the game tomorrow against Latvia. That's the one they have to have. They close out against Finland on Tuesday.
Latvia closed out against Austria, so if you're Slovakia, you have to assume Latvia will win the last game. So you need to be at least 3 points in front of them.
Right. So they're a point ahead now. If this score were to hold, sets up that clash tomorrow.
Another penalty off the faceoffs.
Yeah, Suko goes.
Ooh, wow. So we were having this conversation last game. There are so many face-off violations called where guys get warnings, but they never call them a penalty. So to give Suko one while he's already short-handed.
So 5-on-3 now for 16 seconds.
So Canada again, 16 seconds, should try to win this with Bo Horvat. And then attack quickly to try to score before the first penalty expires.
An unmarked Nathan McKinnon lurking.
Good win.
Yeah. Chenoweth won that face-off. Here's Sikora with it. And now Sikora with Chenoweth winding in.
So 5-on-3, don't get overexcited. Gotta pull out of there.
Chenoweth plays it back around. First Slovak penalty is over, so German is back on. Chenoweth picks it up and shoots it off the mask of Bennington. Up and out of play.
That is disappointing for the first group for Canada. They don't win the face-off. They don't scramble it to get possession. And then let Sikora go down and chew up the entire 5-on-3 as he's getting congratulated for his good work on the bench.
So 1:38 to go in this power play. Moved by German. Now a race for it as Konechny comes barreling in. And Konechny wins that race for the puck. Konechny Spins it back to Crosby. To Montour, and Canada gets set up. Montour to Crosby. Back down to Horvat. To Crosby. Sets it up for Montour. Back to Crosby. He's it back across. McKinnon shoots. Off the pads. Horvat just missed that.
Good awareness by Horvat. That rocket pass from Crosby was not for him. That was going to McKinnon.
Now center for Montour. Backhands that wide. Crosby swings it back to McKinnon. Moves around Rayerchuk. McKinnon still with it. Works his way in and taps that back to Montour. Montour into Crosby. Feeds it down to Horvat. Back down to Crosby. A quick shot for Konechny, turned away. McKinnon feeds it back to Montour. McKinnon. Down to Konechny. 30 seconds to go in the power play. McKinnon to Montour. Back to Horvat. A hard shot. Rebar almost wearily makes that save. Here's Crosby back with it. Crosby. McKinnon a hard shot. Pad save by Rebar. And Kristoff moves it back out for Slovakia. Kristoff for Kanazko. Sends it back across. Knocked away by Binnington. And Konechny back with it. Final seconds of the power play. Lifts it ahead for Celebrini. And Rosendietz plays that away. 4 shots on the entirety of that power play for Canada. Still a 3-0 lead as we approach the midway point of the second period. Top back down to the Slovak zone, and icing waved off as Johnson got there in time.
Did he?
Well,
I was like everyone on Slovakia. That's going to be an icing.
I don't make the calls. Played ahead by Uyghur. Celebrini for Johnson. Kent Johnson. Drops it back. Spurgeon a long shot. Rebar save, and a quickly gobble that up. 3-0 Canada leads here in the second period.
What's up? Today we're talking snacks, and not my dad's kind. A fan fave? Bear Paws. Mom likes that they only use real stuff in them. I like that I don't have to catch them myself.
Bear Paws, made with no artificial colors or flavors.
Are you having any fun? What you getting out of living? Who cares for what you've got if you're not having any fun? Are you having any laughs? Are you getting any loving? If other people do, why can't you have a little fun? And have a little fun.
We Canadians rarely lose our cool, especially with a $3 Harvey's milkshake. Thick, creamy, hand-spun Canadian dairy. Harvey's milkshakes and frozen drinks, only $3 all summer long.
Canada 4 straight wins here in this World Championship. And a 3-0 lead on Slovakia in Game 5. Canada 4th last year, lost its bronze medal game against Sweden. Canada has made these semifinals 9 straight times now.
I remember
for 10th this year.
my first 3 or 4 times I came, they lost in the quarterfinals every time.
It was actually 5 straight at one point.
I just don't think I was there every time.
A long point shot goes wide. There's Hayton trying to dig it free. Those quarterfinal games are the knee knockers, right? Because you're out, you're done. Lose a semifinal, at least to play for a medal the next day. Milos Roman plays it down, back at the point. Woodrak's shot was blocked, and now Hayton brings it back the other way. Barrett Hayton drops for Braden Shen, sends it back in, and Deneau was sent sliding into the Slovak netminder.
Pair of 24s checking on each other. Everybody in one piece. And you want to talk about a workout for Rebar. It's been busy in his end. Multiple penalty kills, puck snapping around, plus the 25 shots he faced as well.
Outside. Hey, you all right? Take your time.
Phil Deneau is not one to run the goaltenders on purpose. That's not his MO. Jen trying to rip a puck through the pile. And he puts it almost right there. Sorry, Patrick, you got to hang in there.
Rosendich. Up for Lantoshi. Binnington knocks that down, plays it quickly ahead for Cooley.
It seems like a shortstop, how quickly he gets that puck out of his glove and onto his stick. Or he gets caught up in the webbing or anything, just pops it right down and snaps it forwards.
Walter Evans lost the puck for a moment. Lantoshi. Down to Regenda, works back out. Pavel Regenda. Swings it back. Up wide by Germont. Lantoshi with it. Matheson tries to flip that ahead. Kristoff. Back in the corner. Regenda, the centering pass knocked down by Fantilli, then poked away by Forster. Alan Fantilli. Up to Cooley. Celebrini. In with Konechny. Rink wide pass for Dobson. Ticked away. Dobson back down to Konechny. Crosby jumps up. For Celebrini. Back to Konechny. Now Celebrini. Back in front. That's knocked down. And moved up by Cole. Konechny to Celebrini. Walks back in and shoots. Rebound the save. Rebound cleared by Benno. Konechny pokes it back around to Crosby. Jams it back in front. Here's Weegar on it. And Mackenzie Weegar had it chopped away by Hormiak. And Binnington back to play it.
He wants it. He chose discretion instead of the 90-foot sauce up the middle.
Polk back with it. Spurgeon. Now Sikora back the other way along with Suko. Sikora trying to center it and swept away by Binnington. Woodback can't hold it, and McKinnon comes barreling in. McKinnon. Pumped there by Sikora. Now gathers it back up, plays that to an open corner to Horvath. Back to McKinnon. Bouncing puck was knocked down by Canasco. McKinnon relentlessly on the puck. Montour steps up. Back at the point is Montour. Shoots. Bouncing puck goes wide up the other side of McKinnon trying to chop at that. Suko bottled up there by Horvath. Off the back of the goal, Suko. Goes it to Sikora.
McKinnon just barrels for the checks.
Held by McKinnon, back to Montour. Across to McKinnon. Montour. Back in front. Horvath trying to find McKinnon with that backdoor pass, and now Montour with it. Long time in the offensive zone here for Canada. As O'Reilly comes on the change. Ryan O'Reilly spins back. Moves it back to Montour. Cooley. Drops that back. Long shot by Montour, deflected wide. Exhausted Slovak defenders up there. That was Cooley shoots. Rebar makes the stop. And finally hangs on. 3-0 Canada leads. With 5:11 to go. And the second period for the 2025 World Hockey Championship in Stockholm.
The Ontario Hockey League, more than just a game.
Schaefer sprung loose and he scores!
On the ice, the OHL is the #1 provider of talent to the National Hockey League, developing the game's next stars. Off the ice, giving back matters. Since 2010, OHL teams have invested over $41 million in scholarships and raised nearly $8 million annually for charities in minor hockey, shaping futures beyond the rink. Excellence on the ice, opportunity beyond it. The Ontario Hockey League, where the journey begins.
Whatever you want to make it. With the standard hybrid new 2025 Ford Maverick.
Hockey is back. The fans are full of hope. The skates sharpened, the blue line bolstered, and the half-empty glass is once again full. Join us for your Roadhouse favorites and cheer them on at Kelsey's, the original Roadhouse.
Canada has scored. A goal from Sidney Crosby here in the second period to go with Tyson Forrester and Brandon Montour in the first. 3-0 lead on Slovakia. Team Canada has beaten 6 straight times at the World Championship. Tries to dig that free for Cooley. Nelson goes back, icing call against the Slovaks.
Watching the run of this game, it hasn't been quite the face-off domination for Canada as it has been in previous games. Ryan O'Reilly will switch sides to his stronger side off the icing. But Slovakia's hung in there well with some very strong sentiment for Canada in the face-off circle.
And Chenoweth won that one. Takac. The watch there by Montour. Here's Golian back with it. Played back in. Just 8 Slovaks played in the NHL this past season. No goalies. Well picked up. Chankovic can get a shot away. Goes back to Golian. Takac. Spins back in the corner. Centers it. That goes through the crease. And now Rosendic back with it. Rosendic. Long shot there by Chankovic. Good save up top by Binnington. And Chankovic again hammered that wide. Rosendic back with it. There's a shot by Chenoweth. That goes just wide. And Johnson out to O'Reilly just out of his reach. Rosendic. Steps across the line. Drops that back. Chankovic. To Takac. And up. Back for German. Inside 4 to go here in the second period. Lantoshi. Now Lantoshi moves it back in front. Just missed Kristoff with that pass. Now a lead pass. In alone is Kent Johnson. Lines it in and shoots. And rebound is stopped on the Johnson break. Johnson, long shot. Rebar. The save through the screen of Deneau. And Regenda back around for Germa. Becker Evans turns that over. And Toshi walks in and shoots. Binnington the save. Rebound loose in front. Oh, what a stop by Binnington on Kristoff on the doorstep. The Slovaks haven't been without chances in this game. 2 good looks there, but Binnington turns them away. Now Regenda back with it. For Rarechak in on Evans. Rarechak spins back, finds Dvorsky. And that pass draws him out. Dvorsky. Lines back in for Rarechak. Trying to center it. That was broken up by Uyghur. Now Dvorsky, a backhand shot. That goes high. Hanzak. Works that back to Mudryk with a shot. That's blocked by Evans, and Crosby puts it back down to the Slovak zone. Nice and call against Canada. 2:24 to go in the second period.
Slovakia turning up the heat, creating some chances. The best one coming up, but after all that time in the offensive zone, Ken Johnson somehow gets sprung in alone. He's trying to go over the block. A great look at it here. He misses his target. Just hits him in the pants. There's the chance earlier to Kristoff. Just has it roll over his stick. Basically an empty net. And Canada would want to tighten things up here last couple of minutes of the second period. Kristoff had a great chance in the power play earlier in the game that hit Binnington in the pad from point-blank range as well.
Break wide to Crosby, winding in. Canada changing as Crosby holds in the high slot. That shot by Sanheim's block. He falls. And the Slovaks back the other way. Sikora get across the line. The play's offside as Takach is a half step ahead.
Adam Sikora with a whack on Crosby after the whistle.
2:05 to go in the second. Canada a 3-0 lead.
You can trust Royale bathroom tissue for quality and softness. But did you know it's carbon neutral? The Royale brand is part of an organization that plants millions of trees each year in responsibly managed forests. Royale, proudly Canadian.
Your financial journey starts here.
Investing 101. Alternative assets. Avoid the hype. Top lines. Track the diffusion curve. Manage
Whatever life you choose, gold is easy to invest in online. It could help you grow what you have and protect it. Gold. Choose your own path.
Don't let lunch be a letdown. Go get that fresh deal. Like Subway 6-inch Italian BMT or sweet onion chicken teriyaki on fresh baked bread for just $5.99. Subway makes it fresh like that.
Adam Sikora, second-round pick of the Rangers in 2022.
Didn't like the slash Crosby gave him on his wrists on the rush that was offside, so we went back and gave it to Crosby on the ankle. Really didn't get the memo. No matter what happens in the games, you can't go back and say to Crosby. Kind of like that. Kind of like, doesn't matter who he's playing against. Stick your nose in there.
Celebrini works in. Plays it down to Konechny and picked up by Crosby. Centers a quick chance score. Celebrini in the feed from Crosby. And it's 4-0 Canada as that combination clicks again. Celebrini's second goal of the World Championship.
Celebrini starting to arrive. Get more comfortable, moving cleaner, stop looking for line mates and going and playing. And had a really nice assist on the Crosby goal. He stops it up. Konechny will pick up another point. And what is the key? Beating guys to the front of the net. And Celebrini from the half wall beats Chenelay to the front and pass on the tape. Really good short side finish by Celebrini on rebar to make it 4.
Celebrini with 3 points in the game today.
All of a sudden up to 5 in the tournament. And this the 5th game for Canada.
His dad's team, the Golden State Warriors, were knocked out of the NBA playoffs earlier this week.
Steph Curry's hamstring would not cooperate with their playoff run.
Celebrini grew up around those great Golden State players. His dad's the director of player performance for the Warriors. Former national team soccer player himself is Rick Celebrini. And
that's a lot of access to high performance information. And you can do it in a healthy way where you're not raising a robot, but the kid's passionate about sports and wants to embrace the knowledge, which Celebrini clearly has. It hasn't hurt his development at all.
Great rookie year with San Jose. He's a finalist for the Rookie of the Year award.
I don't think he's going to win it, though. I think Wayne Hudson is going to get him with his record-setting rookie year in Montreal.
25 goals a rookie is nothing to sneeze at.
No, and if he would have played 82 games, right? Celebrini only got 70 games. They give another 12 games, another 10 points.
He had a hip injury early in the year. Now picked up by McKinnon. Going to feed that back in front, scores! It's off a stick and in. Nathan McKinnon, not exactly the 102-mile-an-hour rocket he scored on the other day, but
Sheepishly doesn't want to go down the bench, but everybody else will for him. It's always the best players who get these kind of breaks, isn't it? You don't ever see a guy who scores 2 goals a year getting this happening. He's trying to center it. Kristoff has a stick in the lane where it should be, and Rebar is tracking the puck where it's going, and he's looking over to the backdoor option, and you couldn't do that if you tried 100 more times. Haven't worked out like that.
So McKinnon has a point in every game now, too. And his 5th goal of the tournament. Puck goes into the Slovak bench.
So late push for Canada, a couple of goals. Celebrini, then McKinnon. They get 5-0 for them in the second period. And Nathan McKinnon's such a fascinating player. It's great to see him smile. He's such a fascinating player to watch every day. The way he plays, the way he carries himself. Such a unique combination of the speed and the power in his stride.
Now picked up by Shen, tries to draw that back. Then comes Romiak. On the rush, being watched there by Sanheim, who stays with him. Romiak, right on the line, now poked up by Sanheim, who was thinking breakaway there.
Well, come this far, might as well keep going.
Time winding down in the period. Weegar puts back down, and Rebar hangs on to that with Shen lurking in front.
And the willingness for all the players in Canada to embrace different kind of roles. Braden Shen's a captain, he's a centerman, he's a point producer on St. Louis, and he comes to Team Canada, he's a winger, he's a checker, and he's a penalty killer. Just what you have to do when you play for Canada, especially when the team's as good as it is this year.
So Canada strikes 3 times in the second period. Goals by Crosby, Celebrini, and McKinnon.
First overalls only.
Nice luxury to have. 5-0 Canada leads after 40 minutes.
Frankie's Organic is proudly Canadian and family-owned, with our history rooted in the value of real food and hard work. Today, we bake your favorite snacks all organic with simple ingredients and feel-good flavor. Frankie's Organic, snacks that bring the fun naturally.
As you age, your vision may change and your eyes may start to suffer. If you're struggling with cataracts or age-related macular degeneration, you can help maintain your eyesight. New Nordic's Blueberry Strong Tablet contains European blueberries and lutein from marigold flowers to help improve macular pigment optical density and help maintain eyesight in conditions such as AMD and cataracts. Blueberry Strong from New Nordic.
The Mix and Match event is on now at Sleep Country, because everyone should sleep their own way. It's time to get what you need to do just that. For a limited time, get 20% off almost everything. The Mix and Match event is on now, only at Sleep Country.
Good morning, Ryan. I have everything for your rider here, including your scrambled eggs.
Oh, gosh. Wow, no one makes my eggs like you, Brendan.
Actually, these are from Tim Hortons. I know how much you like them.
Love them.
So I gave them your extremely specific recipe.
Oh, did you? 2 freshly cracked eggs, expertly scrambled with crispy hash browns, sausage crumble, creamy chipotle sauce, cooked over freshly harvested organic lava.
They skipped the lava part, but yeah.
Wow, doesn't affect the taste at all.
I'm so glad.
From my rider to Tim's menu, try my new scrambled eggs loaded breakfast box.
At Genesis, centered around you means reflecting your every need. Like respecting your time by bringing service to your doorstep, with complimentary valet pickup and courtesy vehicle service. Because we believe Genesis ownership shouldn't cost any of your time. This is personalized service. This is what sets Genesis apart.
TaylorMade presents
the QI-35. The ultimate collaboration between distance and forgiveness. Designed to unlock tailor-made speed and QI forgiveness. For more distance from more of the face. Get QI Fit today from TaylorMade.
He's a good student. He's had good teachers. Teacher only as good as his students. Sensei Miyagi taught me that.
Karate Kid Legends, exclusively in theaters May 30th.
The Memorial Cup begins on Friday. We now know that Gavin McKenna and the Medicine Hat Tigers will open up the tournament against the host Rimouski. TS said. You can argue that no team has pushed Canada more than Slovakia has so far, and yet, thanks to a trio of #1 overall picks, it's now a 5-0 lead for Canada after 2 periods of play. Mark Rowe alongside Mark Giordano and Dave Reed. Coming into the tournament, there was so much talk, understandably, about Sidney Crosby and Nathan McKinnon. Dave, I get the sense that people are going to come away from this tournament talking about Macklin Celebrini.
Well, when you had the U18 World Championship a couple years ago and you had the World Junior Championship at Christmas, it was a couple years ago, it's all Macklin Celebrini, the #1 overall pick. This guy's going to be a tremendous pro. Well, he is a tremendous pro, and he's showing. How about this one? Jumps on the ice, breaks the play up. And the thing I like about Macklin Celebrini the most, and it's really showing in this tournament, yes, he did score 25 goals with San Jose, but it's his work ethic. It's his ability to get in hard on pucks and stay on the puck. This is a perfect example. He gets on the puck, and he creates. He puts the brakes on. He stays with it. He just doesn't want to dish it. He waits. He waits for his teammates to get in position. Then he rolls back in position, and he can make those sick, crazy, no-look backhand passes. This is another one. Gets in the zone, brings 2 players to him, and then sprints to the net to receive the pass back from Sidney Crosby to bury it. A goal and 2 assists for Macklin Celebrini. He has got so much skill, but it's the work ethic that he brings with that skill that is going to bring him to the levels of the Sidney Crosbys and the Nathan McKinnons. And he's only 18 years old.
Yeah, 18 years old. You worry about, what do you worry about? Strength, right? Is he going to be strong enough to play? He's tenacious on that puck. His puck battles, he's been like, the first time I watched him play was against the Leafs this year, and the first thing that stood out to me was puck battles. He wins them all over the ice, and that takes a lot of strength. He's 18, and he has unbelievable strength.
4th youngest player in the tournament. As for Jordan Binnington, when you see a 5-0 game, you think he's probably taking a nap, but that really hasn't been the case. I know it's only 11 shots, Gio, but he's been busy, and he's had to save Canada in a few opportunities for the Slovaks.
Yeah, just like we talked about at the start, you want your goalie to get a little bit more work in these type of games, and Slovakia is providing that for Binnington. But here's a funny one right off the start of the game. Whoops, he goes behind the net to play the puck and makes an unbelievable recovery save there with his stick. Just a hope play, I guess, but he made it happen. And then, yeah, he just looks solid. His positioning, you could always tell with goaltenders if they're reading the play well, their positioning, if they're not overreacting. And I think you see that. And the other thing that's a tell for a goalie, for me, is when they play the puck, if they look comfortable playing the puck, coming out of the net. Goalies who aren't comfortable usually stay in their net. They don't want to come out on rims and stuff like that. He's always out. He's always trying to play the puck, and speaks to how good he's feeling about his game.
You know, we've gone beyond being astounded by a really nice goal, a really nice save. We're sitting here and saying, this is an unbelievable shift. And we've seen that in a couple occasions against Slovakia.
Yeah, anytime your whole line can change in the O-zone, it's an unbelievable shift. But yeah, I just like the puck possession, being tenacious on it, not wasting shots, not throwing shots away and giving it to the goalie. Like, they're not taking unnecessary risks here. Everything's to the outside a little bit, but look how tired they have, the Slovaks. And then Cooley ends it there. I didn't love that shot at the end of the shift because they were so tired by Cooley. You don't want to waste one and put it in the goalie's glove. But anytime you can change all your forwards in the O-zone, you know you're having a good shift.
Yeah, the key on that one as well is when they did make the change, they didn't let up. They actually were driving the puck harder to the net. And I agree with you. That was kind of a low percentage shot. But they knew that Slovakia was exhausted. We did the other day, we did a 2 minutes and 2 second shift with the referee's arm on a delayed penalty. they've been dominant when they get the puck. And when you can do that, like you said, Joe, when you can change in the offensive zone, your forward line, it's pretty impressive.
The one concern for Canada was when Mackenzie Weegar left the game with an injury. He has returned, and apparently he's healthy enough to do an interview with Lindsay Hamilton.
Mackenzie, first I have to ask, how's the left shoulder feeling? We saw you get it worked on earlier in the game.
It's okay. It was just for show. I put some ice on it, and Coach Brew told me I was fresh as his daisy, so I'm all good.
Fresh as a daisy. Love it. Now, as the preliminary round ramps up, your coach said he wants teams to react to how you play. Yeah. How is Canada doing that today?
I think we're doing a great job. Our pace has always been high. I think for us, it's about not letting so many odd-man rushes, sorting out the D zone a little bit quicker. We're still building here. Obviously, the tournament's going to ramp up, but I think we're doing a good job. Teams, can't play at our pace right now.
Lastly, it's a relationship Canada's quickly falling in love with, the mentor-mentee dynamic duo of Sidney Crosby and Macklin Celebrini. How much fun has that been to witness? Crosby kind of mentoring Macklin along.
I'm falling in love with it, too. It's been a pleasure to watch. Selly's a great kid. It's been a pleasure to watch those two. Selly's been working super, super hard this tournament. He's could have had a few in the previous games, but, it's a pleasure to watch. I'm glad Canada's fallen in love with it, because so are we.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, in Herning, after losing their first 3 games of the tournament, the Danes are up on Norway.
I'm falling in love with it, too. It's been a pleasure to watch. Selly's a great kid. It's been a pleasure to watch those two. Selly's been working super, super hard this tournament. He's could have had a few in the previous games, but, it's a pleasure to watch. I'm glad Canada's fallen in love with it, because so are we.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, in Herning, after losing their first 3 games of the tournament, the Danes are up on Norway and on the verge of winning a 3rd straight. And, Dave, they can thank their power play for this production against the Norwegians.
Denmark's power play is 5th in the tournament out of 16 teams. That's pretty darn good at 26.7%. They already had 2 power play goals, and they capitalize on another one. It's Oscar Blichfeld, and that's their 3rd power play of the game. They're going to be pushing to be in the top 2 or 3 of this tournament, and you get a good power play, it can carry you a long way in this tournament, and they are being absolutely dominant. They're finding their goals. They scored 5 against Kazakhstan, then they scored 8 against Hungary, and now they got a bunch against Norway. This is bad to see. Steen Solberg has had a tremendous tournament. We've talked about him a lot for Norway. He blocked a shot, and that's what it resulted in the kind of a 5-on-3 power play goal in that situation for Denmark, but we'll keep an eye on him.
And they play Germany at the end of the preliminary round. That could decide the final quarterfinal spot in Group B. We have highlights, Sweden and Finland with impressive wins. More on that after the break.
I could be. Because with Phoenix.ca, I can connect with a physician to talk about ED treatment plans conveniently and discreetly. So I can get help whenever the occasion arises. Whenever.
We're not made to be alone. It's baked deep into our DNA, driving us to connect. Because we know that when our tastes are as diverse as our world, everything changes. The world's #1 vodka, Smirnoff, we do we, since 1864.
Do you need financing for your business? Get up to $800,000 in less than 24 hours from Merchant Growth. Apply online today and get your no-obligation quote. Trusted by over 10,000 businesses, Merchant Growth is Canada's leader for convenient business financing. Apply now at merchantgrowth.ca.
Bleeding gums are a sign of bacterial infection. We always recommend Crest Gum toothpaste to our patients. Its unique antibacterial fluoride works below the gum line to reduce bleeding to strengthen gums. Thanks, Crest.
Hi. I'm comfortable, even in the most uncomfortable situations. Call me Leon, or Leo, whatever's comfortable. Comfort isn't given. You get comfortable with affordable, quality-made furniture from someone with over 100 years of history in Canada. So don't stand for discomfort. Sit comfortably. That suits you. It looks good. Let me check. Yeah.
Good morning, Ryan. I have everything for your rider here, including your scrambled eggs.
Oh, gosh. Wow, no one makes my eggs like you, Brendan.
Actually, these are from Tim Hortons. I know how much you like them.
Love them.
So I gave them your extremely specific recipe.
Oh, did you? 2 freshly cracked eggs, expertly scrambled with crispy hash browns, sausage crumble, creamy chipotle sauce, cooked over freshly harvested organic lava.
They skipped the lava part, but yeah.
Wow, doesn't affect the taste at all.
I'm so glad.
From my rider to Tim's menu, try my new scrambled eggs loaded breakfast box.
Oh, so you corporate types think you're rock stars?
That's as ridiculous as us being corporate types. Let's begin.
Rockstar move using Workday to handle all our AI agents.
Well, watch me handle my agent, Gary. Bubbly water, no bubbles.
So what did you do this weekend?
The huge.
Shout out to Carmen for using Workday to manage our people and AI agents.
What are we doing?
Just clap.
Carmen!
Earlier today was Finland taking on Latvia in Group A action. Latvia had an opportunity to move past Finland for third in the Group A standings with the win in regulation. Second period, though, it's Juuso Parssinen who throws the puck on net. It goes off the skate of Kristaps Zila and in. Rangers forward with his third of the tournament. Finland going up 1-0 on that goal. Then in the third, it's Finland on the power play when Mikko Lehtinen finds the back of the net. The former Maple Leaf doubles Finland's lead with his third of the tournament. Latvia would score late to avoid the shutout, but the Finns with a big win, 2-1 over Latvia. It was France taking on Sweden. Swedes looking to remain perfect in the preliminary round late in the first period. Leo Carlsson sets up Lucas Raymond, who snipes one to open the scoring. His second of the tournament. He's got 5 points in his last 4 games. It was 1-0 Sweden at that point. Under a minute later, Emil Heinemann going top corner for his first career World Championship goal. Let's take another look. Extra points for hitting that water bottle. Sweden up 2-0. Second period, Sweden on the power play when Michael Backlund sets up Elias Lindholm. Now his shot takes a bounce and finds the back of the net. Lindholm's 4th goal in the last 2 games. He's also up to 10 points for the tournament. Sweden improving to 6-0 as they take this one 4-0. That's an even bigger lead for Canada now after 2 periods. They're up 5-0. You can see that game on TSN 1 and 3. Denmark leading 5-2 over Norway on TSN 2.
We created these. We're 4 Canadian friends that quit our jobs because we hated our underwear. We couldn't take the chafing, riding up, and constant adjusting. So we spent 12 months creating our own. They're made with a premium modal fabric that's breathable like cotton, but it won't stretch out. And we designed them to contour and support the boys, preventing sticking. We also made it to Dragon's Den and received offers from 4 different dragons. So visit manmadebrand.com to experience ultimate crotch comfort today.
Practice starts in 20. Let's get it. T-Mac.
Who shaves for practice?
My game face doesn't take days off with Gillette Labs. Its green bar releases trapped hairs, so you can get virtually every hair in a single stroke.
That's smooth.
The best your game can get is Gillette Labs.
Losing your hair can be frustrating, but now you can do something about it. New Nordic, the #1 supplier of natural health products in Scandinavia, has developed a naturally derived and scientifically proven way to support new hair growth. Hair Grow contains a wide range of hair nutrients like biotin, millet, and zinc, but also uses a patented tocotrienol complex, clinically proven to nourish the hair and help increase hair count in 5 to 8 months. Gain back your confidence. Try Hair Grow today. newnordic.ca.
Pretzel crust is back at Little Caesars. It's all Brian can talk about.
It's back!
Yep, soft pretzel crust with cheddar cheese sauce is back.
It's back!
It's back. Try delicious pretzel crust at Little Caesars. Still only $8.99. Hot and ready.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You will benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Inside these lines, every rally, every reaction leaves a mark, and history is written on clay.
What a win, what a moment.
Roland Garros on TSN and TSN Plus.
Jordan Binnington has stopped all 11 shots he's faced so far from the Slovaks in a 5-0 game after 2 periods of play. And a new goalie for the Slovaks as they turn Adam Hushka, who has not yet played in the tournament. So they're holding Rebar out now. Samuel Levi will get the start tomorrow like they against Latvia. in a game that will likely decide the fourth and final playoff spot in this group. Slovaks, by the way, are expected to be the host country in the 2029 World Hockey Championship. Next year is in Switzerland, Zurich and Freiburg. The year after that, Germany, Mannheim and Düsseldorf. And then the year after that, France, likely Paris and Lyon. So the all wine and cheese diet will come into play.
Fine. They have to.
Hiking in the mountains next year in Switzerland.
Fine.
In comes Sukulis, shot whistled that wide. We could backpack through Europe one time doing these tournaments.
As long as we're not staying in a hostel.
No, we won't be doing that. We'd be hostile in the hostel.
That would be beyond that at this point in my life.
In comes Lantoshi. Swings it back down to the Canadian zone as Legenda fanned on that. There are concerns for the Slovaks, though, about their program. And part of the problem is that so many young Slovaks leave the country at a young age to play, as opposed to most Canadians, Americans stay at home. But for Slovaks, it's been an ongoing problem. They had a full-time national junior program at one point that played games against Slovak extra league teams. That didn't really work. They tried it with their under-18 group, but
so many find their way to the CHL.
Right. Now, Yuri Slavkovsky went a different way. He went to Finland.
That's a unique talent that went first overall.
Kristoff has it back away. Simon Nemetz, second overall in that draft to New Jersey. He's also a budding young player, but as we mentioned, only 8 Slovaks in the NHL last year, and none were goalies, and that's a problem. Now, lead pass finds Crosby. In comes Crosby, taken down by Cook. And that'll be a penalty early on to the Slovaks as Kristoff goes down as well, and Canada gets an early power play here in the third.
Crosby trying to split the seam. He does have a step, and Cook reaches Kilter.
2 minutes for tripping.
He goes for a trip. Kristoff got his foot caught under Crosby as Crosby fell, which could torque your knee or your ankle. And so a power play that struck in their first attempt, had a brief 5-on-3 and didn't get much done during those 2 power plays. We'll go back to work in the third.
Having a tip knocked down by Montour. A slap pass on the side of the goal. Konechny, and now Travis Konechny back with it. Bounces down to Crosby, looking for Horvat. Swings that back to Montour. To Crosby. Back to Montour, winds and shoots, rebound, and that's pushed away by Huska. He plays for Lugano in the Swiss League. Crosby swings that back down to Horvat. Horvat to Crosby, slapped it across to McKinnon. That pass just missed, and now Montour with it. Crosby to Montour. McKinnon. Konechny. Now McKinnon winds back in, drops it back to Montour, slaps it back across to McKinnon. But Montour couldn't crawl that pass, now it skips back to center ice. At the line, Crosby up for Konechny. That plays offside.
Konechny trying to argue that was brought back in by Slovakia, which would make it onside. Konechny doesn't miss a beat. He's all over it. Another first unit minute plus that too dangerous.
Tomorrow, here in Stockholm, Slovenia plays Austria, and the Slovaks take on Latvia. Inheriting Kazakhstan plays the United States, and Hungary takes on Switzerland. Canada back in action Monday against the Finns, then Tuesday against the Swedes. As Celebrini winds in. It's picked off by Takas. And Binnington leaves it there to Dobson. Swedes and winner of France earlier today will have 2 days off before the Canada game on Tuesday. Johnson for Celebrini. Brings that pass across to O'Reilly. And Cooks is back in the box for Slovakia. Noah Dobson flips it ahead to Deneau, catches that and shoots. That was blocked in front by German. Takac tries it back down to Honzek, and Dobson stepped into him. And now Shen busting out along with Matheson and Deneau. In comes Mike Matheson jumping in. Matheson looks back around to Deneau, and Benno took that away. Spurgeon back across to Matheson, shoots, and a glove stop made by Huska, the new Slovak netminder.
Welcome to the game, Huska. Go out there and play against the Canadian power play. And now that Huska spent a lot of time over in North America. 2 years at UConn in the NCAA. Green Bay Gamblers, USHL.
Yeah. Played one NHL game for the New York Rangers. He allowed 7 goals on 39 shots against Colorado.
I actually remember that game. It was a really tough spot. Rangers were banged up, and it was almost unfair to put him in there. He'll take his one game.
Matheson long shot that was blocked by Koch. Put back in by Deneau. Matheson. Hayton back with it. Back across to Spurgeon. Knocked down the line. Khrushchev had that taken away. Now Lantoshu had a chance in the opening seconds of this game. Stopped by the stick of Jordan Binnington. Well, again, they got spun around by Spurgeon. Matheson back to center ice. Knocked out by Hayton. German. Golio spins away from O'Reilly. German back to the middle. Honzek chips it down, and back is Sanheim to pick it back up. Travis Sanheim out to center ice trying to find O'Reilly. It moves in on Canasco. Slovaks have the youngest roster on this side of the draw. Brought up by Fantilli. They'll drop that back to Will Cooley. That goes off a skate. Bounces back to Chetterley. Chetterley shoots. That's off the stick of Evans. Over the glass and out.
So Macklin Celebrini growing into the World Championship, having himself a good game. Starts with skating, being physical, battling for pucks where he's actually very good. And then the offense comes from there. Beautiful assist to Sidney Crosby. Nice goal from Sidney Crosby. Macklin Celebrini having himself a good night. 3 points in still under 10 minutes, so not getting too much ice time for his points per 60.
Well, again, we talked about it. Dean Evison has talked about the challenge of those elite shoots that was blocked by Forster. Forster limping back to the Canadian bench. The challenge of keeping everyone involved, but also making sure your top players get their minutes. Now Sikora shovels that back in front, rolling puck. Suko turned away. Point blank by Binnington. Suko plays it back. Rosendic moves it and shoots. That was blocked. This time by Horvat. Woodrak trying to play that back in. And Horvat chops at that. Up ahead to Montour. He finds McKinnon. In with Konechny. McKinnon walks in for Konechny. That pass knocked in by Suko. And Huska freezes that. 13:22 to go here in the third period. Canada leads Slovakia 5-0.
It's the final weekend of the Bricks tent sale. The tents are coming down and everything must go. Now get up to 70% off clearance furniture, appliances, and mattresses. Plus more incredible deals throughout the store. The final weekend of the Bricks tent sale, saving you more.
Thanks for making mortgage rates make sense.
That's what TD Mortgage Direct is here for.
Mortgages? Let your Uncle Sal explain things. I'm good with TD.
I'll be over here knowing things. Right by the snacks.
TD. Ready for you.
If you own an RV, you could be making thousands of dollars every month by renting it out on RVZ.com. So while your renters are making memories, you're making money. And there's nothing to worry about. So RVZ fully protects your RV with best-in-class insurance. So, all you have to do is not a whole lot. There's money in your driveway. When you're not using it, RVZ. Go to RVZ.com today.
Ackland celebrating with 3 points today. Has accomplished that feat at all 3 levels of IIHF top men's competition. The under-18s, the World Junior. We had a 5-point game last year. And now here at the World Championship.
There's not many levels that he won't score at consistently. Just got that knack and that shot.
Those are the annual top men's competitions, obviously. The Olympics also part of that equation.
He'll get his chance there eventually, too.
Connecting for Crosby. Feeds that back to Dobson. Looking back in front. Crosby scores on the feed from Dobson. Crosby's got his second, and it's 6-0. And even the Slovaks have to.
How good was that pass from Noah Dobson? The patience and the vision. Sid, 4 points on the day. Good job on the forecheck, establishing possession. Konechny will pick up another assist. Give, slide out the back door, and it's just great vision by Dobson. As soon as he gets his puck, he knows where he's going back with it. Walk, find a lane, and straight on the tape for Sidney Crosby. Dean Evason pulled the right string, put Crosby back with Konechny and Celebrini. They have produced 3 goals.
Well, you talked about it at the start of the broadcast, Mike, that whoever Konechny plays with, whatever line he's on,
it's just
productive.
It's money. In Philadelphia, they would, if a guy was struggling, put him with Konechny. He'll get you going.
Hayton to Deneau, back in front for Hayton with a quick shot. Huska turned that away. Womiak sends it back down to the Canadian zone. Bonzek shoots. That was blocked by Matheson. Bounces back down the ice.
Pennington was doing a mock glove save, and the puck was already down. He was doing some visualization, catching that block shot.
Chetterley with it. Rayarchuk centers it. Chetterley couldn't get a shot away. Now Johnson up ahead to Uyghur. Now Cooley knocks it down. And Cooley tied up. Now loose in front. McKinnon. Backhand shot, scores. Oh my. That's almost not fair. And McKinnon's got his 6th to tie for the tournament point goal lead.
It's all business right back to center ice. You just can't turn pucks over here. Good forecheck by Johnson and Cooley. Karams, and good luck if you go for the poke check on Nathan McKinnon. Huska thinks he's got him, maybe? Nope. And once you go, there is not a lot of hope. McKinnon handles it cleanly. He feels it heads up. And easy finish on the backhand side to the open net. So Crosby with 2.
Yeah.
McKinnon with 2. Celebrini with just 1. Falling behind in the first overall derby.
McKinnon sends that back door, and Horvat turned away. Miloš Roman moves that back, picked up by Sikora. Banks it back down the Canadian zone. Now center for Sikora, fired that wide. Picked up by Regenda, he's turned away as well. And Sukel picks it up. 7-0 Canada leads. Move back down to the Slovak zone. Canada won the quarterfinal matchup last year against the Slovaks 6-3. They won 6 straight against the Slovaks coming in. Just the second time Canada's ever scored 7 goals against the Slovaks at the World Championship. They won 7-3 back in 2009. And this by far the most lopsided matchup between the two at this current score. So Canada outscoring the opposition at this point 28-2.
Toughest competition coming up, though. They haven't played Finland, they haven't played Sweden. So it's been the 5 most manageable team or lowest world ranked teams that they played.
Now Danault's going to get one for taking down Canasco here. And so with 9:14 to go in the third period, Slovakia gets a power play.
So where is BT and what is he up to?
I could ask. Yeah, I'll just ask.
Wondering about Ozempic? Just ask your doctor.
Travel. It's gone from being an adventure to a checklist. But the world is still full of wonder. You just need a better way to find it. Introducing Airbnb Experiences. Master ramen with an award-winning chef. Dive into underground jazz with a renowned bassist. Or see Notre Dame with her. She helped restore it, by the way. Don't just see a place. Experience it.
Honey!
Yeah?
Can you check if my phone's in the car?
Yes, I can. But, oh!
Fix Auto. The first words that should come to mind after an accident.
Number 24, 2 minutes for tripping.
Canada will get a little penalty kill work late in the game. Phil Deneau gets tangled up with Natchko and takes him down with his skate and his stick. Obvious call to make. So
Slovaks 0 for 1 on the power play so far. Canada's killed off all 10 opposition power plays it's faced so far.
But 10 through 5 games, that's not a bad number. 2 per. Careful jump, they've already given Slovakia a penalty once for face-off violation, so again, they better sit still.
He's out control by the Slovaks. Rosendic. Back for Lantoshi. That's picked up by Sanheim and now moved out by Spurgeon. Rosendic drops that back to Kristoff. And around for Suko. Rosendic for Suko to Kristoff. Rosendic. Lantoshi for Sukel. Back to Lantoshi. And that pass goes off O'Reilly and just wide. And Toshi drops it off to Krzysztof. Feeds that down to Regenda, back for Krzysztof. Slovaks chanting, we want a goal. And Toshi slaps it across to Krzysztof. Regenda, backdoor pass, knocked away by Spurgeon. Slovaks have a great fan following. They travel well, they're loud. Won the World Championship in 2002. Their last medal was in 2015. Dalibor Dvorsky works in. Dvorsky slings that rink wide for Takac. Down to Hromiak. Hromiak. Tanasko back to Dvorsky. Goes off a skate and a stick. Now Hromiak tees it up, and Binnington makes a stop on that. Honzek. Back around to Dvorsky. That's poked ahead by Cooley. A race for it now as Shen busts in on Tanasko. And Shen has it back. Brought back up by Dvorsky. As Deneau steps back on. Sikora dropped that back for Germont. He fired it wide. And Takac has it taken away by Fantilli and moved back to center. Added back up by Spurgeon. Lead pass for Sanheim. Drops it off for Deneau. And Phil Deneau shoots from a sharp angle. That goes wide, trying to find a stick in front of Hayton, but he was tied up. And now Sikora with a burst on Fantilli. Drops it back. A hard shot there by Benno, kicked out by Binnington. Their shot floats wide, this time from Sikora. And Fantilli chops at that. Bouncing puck lobbed wide by Chaykovich. And Hayton pokes that to the line and just out. Slovaks a tight turnaround to tomorrow. Even tighter for Latvia. That's picked up by Dobson. And now Konechny back with it. Pokes it in behind Chetterley. Konechny drops that back in the high slot. Now Dobson back after it. Celebrini shoots. That's blocked in front. Evans holds the line for Canada. Riker Evans looks back down to Celebrini. Celebrini walks out, feeds it back for Evans, shoots. And Huska the save on that. Almost a 5th point there for Celebrini. Back with it for Konechny. Konechny swings that rink wide, tap back by Crosby. Thompson shot, loose puck in front. And Crosby couldn't reach it.
This line has some tremendous chemistry.
Huska's lost his goal stick. And now Evans up to Crosby. Toshi works in, but the play's offside at the Canadian line. 7-0 Canada leads on a great night for Macklin Celebrini.
Thanks. It's great to get mortgage advice from an actual specialist.
At TD, we're happy to help.
Talking about mortgages, huh?
I think I'll just stick with my TD mortgage specialist.
If you change your mind, give me a dingle.
I'll give you a dingle.
TD. Ready for you.
Sponge towels. Nothing absorbs like it.
Are you having any fun? What you getting out of living? Who cares for what you've got if you're not having any fun? Are you having any laugh? Are you getting any loving? If other people do, why can't you have a little fun? And have a little fun.
Shots 42-14 Canada here at Avicii Arena on this Saturday night. A landmark hockey building in the world, which has hosted the World Championship multiple times. Last year, the Global Series was here. Detroit, Ottawa, Minnesota, Toronto all played here.
Different times for Dean Evason last year in this building where Minnesota was struggling.
Right.
And he was let go on the way home or when
right
they got back from that trip.
Right when they got back, yeah. Hired in Columbus and did a remarkable job for a team that had the horrible tragedy to start the year. And the way he navigated them through that. And with his captain, Sean Monahan. Pushed off. Drops that back for Kadonsko. Played back in by Golian. Rarachak tries to drop it back. Picked up by Uyghur. To Forster. Maybe the best news of this game is that Mackenzie Uyghur, who left in the first period, came back and appears to be showing no ill effects from a shoulder injury.
As he told our Lindsay Hamilton, he's fine. He was doing it just for show. Tongue in cheek.
Back at the point, Spurgeon bobbled that. Rarachak moves it ahead. For Chaykovich. Bouncing puck in front, knocked down by Sanheim. Puck goes back, icing called against Canada.
Canada will feel obviously very good, but they would know their schedule and would have expected to be at this point after 5 games. For Slovakia, now the rubber meets the road for them. With Latvia, their next game, Finland their last game, they almost know Slovakia needs to beat Latvia in their next game.
Bouncing puck goes back to Spurgeon. Romiak with it. Bounces high in the air to O'Reilly. Up for Johnson. Across to Cooley. Cooley shot. This is high, and now Matheson back with it. Rosendeich skipped away from him. Right to Ken Johnson. Johnson has a look. Pivots back in the corner. Shen to Matheson to Dobson. Trying to center it. And Honzek knocks that back to Dvorsky. His pocket pick there by Hayton. And kicked ahead by Matheson. That's a long shot, goes wide. Takac works in, poke check there by Hayton. Now a chance in front, hammered wide by Mudrak. Lead pass by Dobson for Shen. Up at the Hayton busting in there, and Hayton. And it rolls down to Huska. Now Takac back with it. And behind the play, Mudrak, and then it was Hayton giving him pops in the face.
Mudrak, full swing with his glove on, then puts his hands up as if to say, what did I do? And Barrett Hayton understands that as much as you may want to sometimes, you can't get in these kind of altercations. You can't punch guys back and forth. Puck sort of sticks on him on the chance, and him and Mudrak go behind the net, pushing and shoving. Headlock. Face wash. That last right by Mudrak's a pretty good.
2 minutes roughing.
Get them both for 2. But almost good discipline by Hayton not to escalate that more. Because we have seen fives and fighting for altercations like that. stay 5-on-5 through the end of the game.
Christoph had that bumped away by Montour. Legenda across the line, Toshi. Bennington down, got a pad down and knock that away. The game started with Bennington making an unbelievable stick stop on Lantoshi after a bad bounce in the corner.
I don't think that would have changed the outcome, but it would have made the game feel a bit different. The energy in the crowd, if Slovakia could had gotten one early. But they will have to regroup, reload, and get ready quickly for Latvia.
Because that's the one that really is going to decide it.
It's going to decide the quarterfinal berth. They're good to, not going to be relegated like that, but they want quarterfinals.
Right. They've made it 3 of the last 4 years. That's kind of their baseline.
You said 7, 8, or 9 every year.
Once you get there, then the Slovaks will take their chances in a single elimination quarterfinal game against anybody. And Toshi banks it back to center ice in the final minute now of the third period. 2-0 Canada after 1, 5-0 after 2, and now 7-0 here in the third. McKinnon centers it, bouncing puck gets by Huska, and back out. Rarchak has it knocked down by McKinnon. Sanheim, that's picked up at center ice by Knazko. And Horvat got it back up. Snaps that pass into McKinnon. Here he comes, shoots, and Huska gets an arm on that. Knocks it up and out of play.
One more for good measure on Nate McKinnon, looking for a hat trick in this game. The timing to stretch it out, and then the speed to turn that stretch into a good chance. And that's a good save by Huska.
McKinnon playing in his 4th World Championship, a gold medalist in 2015. The MVP of the 4 Nations. A bouncing puck in front, backhanded wide by Rarchak as time winds down. And Uyghur just run it down, and Canada wins it by a final score of 7-0. Canada now 5-0, has outscored the opposition 28-2 through those 5 games. We'll take on Finland on Monday. Slovaks fall to 2-2-1. They will take on Latvia in a key game tomorrow.
It's another pretty good game for Canada. Competition getting better. Canada's game also getting a little bit tighter as well. The lines shuffling back to what they were. Obviously worked quite nicely for Dean Evason. Jordan Binnington's played 2 games. He hasn't allowed a goal. Well, that'll work.
Final shots are 44-14.
Awesome, man. How about that bouncer?
Sidney Crosby with a big evening. Marc-Andre Fleury has something to say to his pal.
As always. So time now for the player of the game presentations and then the Canadian anthem.
The best player each team will be awarded with a watch by Tissot, official timekeeper of the 2025 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. And the awards will be presented by Petr Brica, IIHF Senior Vice President. Best player of Team Slovakia, number 10, Adam Sikora.
For the second-round Ranger pick.
He was pretty good. Buzzing around, playing with good energy.
And best player of Team Canada, number 87, Sidney Crosby.
Crosby gets a big ovation from everybody in the building.
4-pointer for Crosby.
Dear all, please rise if you're able to for the national anthem of Canada.
For the 5th time at this year's Men's World Hockey Championship, O Canada is played at Avicii Arena in Stockholm.